In the last video, I asked you to vote for my next video, and 2/3 of the vote, all 3 of them, decided on this challenge. Can Tobias beat Pokemon OmegaRuby? And as an added caveat, an added challenge, can he do so using only his canon movesets? I'll explain more as I go, so let's jump right in. And while I do that, feel free to answer the comment question that is on screen right now. Our journey begins in the back of a moving truck on our way to Little Root Town. We have a Zoom call with Professor Birch and introduce ourselves as Tobias. After some meet and greets, we cross the city limits to Route 101, where Birch is being attacked by a wild dog. Luckily for him, we found him, and he has a bag of Pokemon nearby. Luckily for us, one of those Pokemon is our beloved Darkrai. We easily dispatch the dog and head back to the lab. Sidebar, I'm going to allow any non-attacking moves until Darkrai reaches level 20 when he learns Hypnosis. That will be our stand-in for Dark Void until we learn that, but once we learn Hypnosis, all other moves are banned. With a few exceptions that I'll get to in a moment. Anyway, we get to keep Trico, whom we nickname King of Flames, after the first commenter to vote for this challenge. And now, we grind. I have to struggle and disable grind against Wingull and Zigzagoon for special attack and speed EVs. But eventually I make it to level 20, after 10 hours of gameplay. Technically, I did only grind with struggle until level 11 when King learned Quick Attack. I couldn't PP stall that move to use struggle against these low level mons. So I guess I failed, but I'm continuing anyway. We can now stall all key battles with Hypnosis and Bad Dreams. Meg was incredibly easy, especially once I disabled Scratch, which is apparently Torchic's only move, which is weird. Moving on, we meet our dad, help a sickly boy catch a Pokemon, and beat up a thug, bringing us to our first gym battle. Or it would if I didn't have to grind more. I add 4 Zigzagoon named Ziggy, Zaggy, Goonie, and Fred to the team to pick up rare candies. Because of this, I'm able to get King to level 38 in only 22 hours. That's longer than most of my other challenges have taken, so this is going to be a long project. Now to fight Roxanne. King learned Nightmare at level 38, which I'm allowing until I learn a legal move. It's just a stronger version of their Bad Dreams ability, so it's fine. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. Anyway, this battle reminds me of my everyday life, with King trying their best to keep Geodude and Nosepass asleep like I do with my girls. Both rocks have enough bad dreams to knock them out, which makes me wonder, what would sentient rocks even have nightmares about? The Devon employee needs our help again, but as CinemaSins would say, skip! Instead, we meet with Mr. Salty and take a boat to Dewford to challenge Brawly. This battle is pretty much the same as the last. The only real challenge is Makuhita using Sand Attack a bunch, but that won't stop the King of Flames. With 2 badges in hand, we meet Steven Stone for the first time. This scene is super cool too, so let's just enjoy it for a moment. Okay, moment over. Our next stop is the Beach House, where we pick up a 6-pack of my preferred soda. This week, I'm drinking Dr. Pepper made with real sugar. We then visit the museum, where we defeat more of Team Magma and meet their boss, Maxie. He rambles about something, but I spaced out watching PM7's first Nuzlocke. I then torment May's entire team like Freddy Krueger and move on to Mauville City. There, we find Wally again and do the same to his Ralts. Good news, it's time to battle Watson. Bad news, it's the same as every other battle so far. At one point though, I miss Hypnosis, then am fully paralyzed for 1 turn, then for a 2nd turn, then for a 3rd turn, before missing Hypnosis again. I then use a Hyper Potion to heal and save myself the agony of a 2nd attempt. But when I win the battle, I haven't taken any more damage, so it basically didn't count, but feel free to let me know in the comments if you think I cheated. The next bit of the game is kinda long and boring. The most exciting thing to happen is finding the TM for Double Team, which I teach to King. Maybe I'll use it, maybe I won't, but now it's an option at least. Speaking of boring, the battles so far have been just that, so I think it's time for a new strategy. I grind until Ziggy, Zaggy, Goonie, and Fred are level 41. This means that they'll find rare candies 10% of the time when they pick up an item. Or at least more often. I don't understand how these percentages exactly work. I also used up all of King's power points, so now all they can do is struggle. Using struggle with a mythical Pokemon is kind of like starting a business with millions of dollars given to you by your parents. So I call this strategy capitalism. I test the strategy here against Team Magma, and it mostly works. Mariena's Intimidate is going to be tricky, but we'll see how it goes for the next battle. Speaking of Mariana, Maxie leads with 1. This cuts my attack, so struggle does about 50%. but then the pup undoes its work with swagger. The next attack hits through confusion, knocking out the dog. Camerupt is second, but it falls to a single hit of struggle. This drops King to about a quarter as Golbat comes in. King then hits himself in confusion and takes an air cutter. I'm certain this attempt is over, but King lives on 1 HP. Long live the King. This is enough to retaliate with one final struggle, knocking both Pokemon out. I could count this as a loss, but this is exactly how Tobias beat Ash in the Sinnoh League. Maybe the other 4 Pokemon on his team were overleveled Zigzagoon. Anyway, this was easily the most intense battle of the game so far. Unfortunately, that's probably the end of capitalism for now. I tried against Flannery, but Torkoal is too much of a tank. I would need 2 consecutive crits to take it down with struggle. So, time for Plan C, which is actually just Plan A. This battle took a total of 11 minutes, but you know the drill. Hypnosis, then Nightmare. You could argue that I cheat on this battle as well, since I used double team while Slugma and the rest of the team are asleep. But let me say this, they also can't hit me when they're asleep. So is this really any different than having perfect sleep luck? Leaving the gym, May shows up and gives us a pair of goggles like she's Ty from Digimon Adventures. She then offers to travel with us to Petalburg for the next gym, but we decline. We have a lot of work to do. As you can see on the right, Norman's team consists of 2 Slacking and a Vigoroth. In a surprising twist, Vigoroth is the trouble here. It has the ability Vital Spirit, meaning that King can't put it to sleep. That makes it the perfect counter to my strategy. This means that I need to get Dark Pulse or Ice Beam, Darkrai's 2 non-sleep moves. I can't get Ice Beam until I can use Dive, which is in a couple of gyms, so I have to grind until Darkrai learns Dark Pulse. Care to guess what level that is? 93. That gives me Dark Void at 66, Dream Eater at 84, and then, finally, an offensive move in Dark Pulse. It only took 41 hours and 27 more rare candies. But now the fun can begin. I challenge Norman to earn my 5th badge. He promises to do his best, but King blasts all of his Pokemon straight to the Shadow Realm in 1 hit each. He then acts all dramatic about me growing up or something before being interrupted by Wally and his dad. Wally's dad gives us the HM for Surf. Then Wally forces us to fast travel to Mauville City so we can head to Fortree. This frustrates me so much. Why did I get a choice twice from May to fast travel, but now that I've unlocked a huge region of the map to explore, I don't get a choice? This is dumb. This does expedite my meeting with Steven for the 2nd time for a side quest that involves flying around on a Latios. Steven and I then find Latios, who is immediately accosted by a pair of Magma lackeys. We team up to defeat them, which earns me the respect of Latios. The Jet Dragon decides to join my team, adding an interesting dimension to how Tobias himself caught Latios. I nicknamed them Acadia after the other commenter who voted for this challenge. And now, the team is full. I EV train Latios in attack for Giga Impact and special attack for Luster Purge. All of this grinding, plus all my progress so far, only took 44 hours. Yeesh. But now, I can put the pedal to the metal. I clear Team Magma from the Weather Institute, getting a clue for their next destination. I then disintegrate May's entire team and receive the HM for Fly. Lastly, we meet Steven again, who gives us the Devon Scope. Now, we can enter the Fortree Gym. Acadia easily blasts Winona's Swellow into oblivion, foreshadowing their domination of Ash's Swellow in the Sinnoh League. Altaria has enough bulk to survive 1 hit, but not enough to provide a threat. Skarmory resists Luster Purge, which costs us our last 2 power points. This means that King gets to come in and clean up the Pelipper, and we move on. While you vote for my next video, I head to the Lily Cove department store to buy TMs for Giga Impact and Light Screen. These will give Acadia their final 2 moves, with the 4th slot open for Fly. We then climb Mount Pyre, where Team Magma is up to their old tricks. Maybe we can stop them from stealing the red orb? Or not. Okay, let's try again. Maybe we can stop him from stealing a submarine? Dang it, that's 2 strikes. Alright, one more try. They clearly have to remodel the submarine, so maybe that will give us the time we need to stop them finally. And that's another failure. This is why we shouldn't be sending 10-year-olds to take down criminal syndicates. Back to the main plot, I catch a Spheal in Shoal Cave. I need them to use some HMs, so that means one of the Lanoon needs to retire. I choose to retire Goonie. He's hardy enough to handle retirement. The others are a bit too lonely or timid and need to finish their off-screen character arcs before retirement. Time to challenge Tate and Liza. Unsurprisingly, this is incredibly easy. So I'll take this opportunity to talk about a challenge idea I have. What if I challenged a game with only twin Pokemon? By which I mean any pair of Pokemon that are often shown as counterparts, like Lunatone Solrock, Beedrill Butterfree, Electabuzz Magmar. It could be so much fun. Anyway, green energy is erupting from the ocean somewhere nearby. Someone should probably take care of that. And while they do, I backtrack to Seafloor. I find the TM for Ice Beam in the storage room, filling up our final legal move slot. I then head to Sootopolis City to claim my final gym badge. But the doors are locked, so I guess I have to go investigate that energy eruption. Diving into the Seafloor Cavern, we find that Maxie has found Groudon and defeated Archie. He challenges us, and Acadia blasts all of his Pokemon into the volcano with ease. Our victory means nothing, though, as he still awakens Groudon with the red orb. But the beast then disobeys him and flees to the Cave of Origin, which doesn't make a lot of sense. My assumption is that you need both the red and the blue orbs to awaken and control the legendary Pokemon, because the lady on Mount Pyre said they should never be separated. But that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and I'm just going to move on. Oh yeah, global warming is also happening now. I fly to Sootopolis, where I run into Steven and Wallace, the final gym leader and also protector of the Cave of Origin. Cool, glad a couple of responsible adults are here to take care of the situation instead of me, a 10-year-old child. Oh, this is awkward. Isn't Steven, the champion of the region, a better candidate for this mission? Isn't Wallace, the local gym leader and protector of the cave, a better candidate for this mission? Well, at least this scene seems to prove my theory, since I'm able to control Groudon into giving me a piggyback with the blue orb. We then witness Groudon undergo Primal reversion, which is kind of cool in concept. Giving unique transformations to legendary Pokemon with a lot of lore connections is cool. But it's also not distinct enough from Mega Evolution to be worth calling something different. It also doesn't help Groudon at all. Acadia is able to blast them back to the past without taking any damage, ending the conflict once and for all. We can also end the quest to collect the gym badges just as quickly. Only Milotic survives a blast of Luster Purge. Nice try, Wallace. Now we just have a short sprint to the Pokemon League. Wally tries to get in our way, but Acadia takes him down as well. Let's see how quickly we can get through the Elite Four. Sydney falls in 2 minutes and 5 seconds, only hitting King with Fake Out. Phoebe only suffers for 1 minute and 50 seconds, failing to do any damage at all. I switch to Acadia against Glacia. That fight takes 2 minutes and 12 seconds, and a missed blizzard means that my Jet Dragon takes 0 damage. I could put all of Drake's dragons on ice, but I want to give Acadia a bit more action. They obliterate his entire team in 1 minute and 55 seconds without taking any damage. Last is Champion Steven. First is Skarmory, who dodges a Dark Void and hits with Steel Wing. But the second attack hits, breaking Sturdy with Bad Dreams. A single Dark Pulse finishes it off. I do the same for Aggron later, but otherwise, Steven's team falls just as easily as everyone else's. And now, Tobias is champion of the Hoenn region. I'm inducted officially into the Hall of Fame, and the challenge is officially complete. The final screen is a bit weird though, seeing the camera rotate around me and my 2 Pokemon. This shot is just so empty. Oh, and May wants to battle on Route 103 again. Unfortunately, we don't gain any experience from this, so what's even the point? King easily obliterates her entire team. Mega Blaziken does manage to deal some damage by nimbly dodging Dark Void twice, but I then murder it in its sleep and regain all of my hit points. GG. Let me know if I should do the Delta run in future OmegaRuby and Alpha Sapphire games, and also let me know if you want to see Tobias take on any other games. Anyway, this challenge was a lot of fun, but it took me so much time. This video took like 54 hours of gameplay. That's like 3 whole other projects I could have done in this same amount of time, but I'm glad I did it. It was fun, and I'm glad to put in the work. This also highlights why I don't EV train and why I use rare candies to grind my Pokemon. I can't spend 50 hours on a challenge, and also why I don't restart if I white out. I just go back to the most recent save point. because if I want to get content out regularly, I need to take some shortcuts in games. On top of that, during this challenge, my mother visited for a week. I went to Colorado for a week and a half. My mother visited for another week. My twins turned 1, so happy birthday to the girls. And our weekly after-school programs at work started back up. So I've been insanely busy the last month and a half, but I managed to finally get this done. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Comment below with your vote for my next main video. My next actual video is going to be a collab with Breloom Battles in Pokemon X. It's going to be a hardcore randomizer Nuzlocke, so look forward to that in the next couple of weeks. And then whatever wins this round of voting will probably come out in mid-November. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you don't want to miss a future video, and I'll see you in the next one. Later, nerds.